And we're going to bring Rebecca up. Back up. The star. And the host. The fabulous. The wonderful. The magnificent. I tell you what, I had Rebecca on as a guest on my show, and she just took it away. I mean, just completely, and I've got nothing but positive feedback for her, so she is fabulous. We really appreciate her.
Thank you. Come on up. Well, this is one of my favorite segments because it's an opportunity for you to meet some amazing individuals and what they're doing, what they're stepping into. So they're going to each get 4 to 5 minutes to share, and here's the instructions, and I don't know what they're going to share, so you'll get to discover it. Along with me, I'm going to be watching intently and enjoying, but they have 4 to 5 minutes to share some way I've impacted their life, and I asked hopefully in a positive way, but they have their choice in that. And I want them to share something they're doing, something they're excited about, something they're launching. I want them to really shine. And this is going to be pushing an edge. Every time we shine in a new way, being seen, we're allowing people to see us in a new way. So I want you to give them love and support and encouragement and celebrate each of their shares heart to heart as they share their heart with you. Are we game for that? Okay, let's give them a warm round of applause. So, I'm trying to decide who I'm going to start with. Karl, since you have the microphone. And you wanted to hide, like he really likes to hide.
You would do that.
I love you, Karl. Karl is someone that I've had such an honor to have him walk beside me in so many parts of my journey. He was my managing principal when I was a financial advisor. So if you've ever heard me tell the Karl stories, you know, I go Karl and I lower my voice and I try to be bigger talking about Karl. He's someone that always cheered me on, held that space, showed me I could bring my heart into all that I do, whether it's in the financial arena or not. And I'm very grateful to him as a friend, and I'm so proud of the work that he's doing and supporting men out there. And his Fundamentals radio show, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, it's incredible. He's created a powerful, powerful culture that is changing people's lives. So if you ever get a chance to listen to his show, I encourage you to do so. It's amazing. Karl, I want to welcome you to the stage and have you share what is on your heart.
Oh, my goodness.
So actually, let's lean in and give Karl Bobo an amazing round of applause.
Well, I'm surrounded by so many great guests that this is powerful. But I don't even know if I can't even put into words the many different ways that Rebecca has, impacted me in my life. So to try to do that, I need the rest of the afternoon. So I'm going to have to try to narrow the scope down a little bit and really talk about one way, because it's really what has launched me into where I am right now. And it's kind of weird. Rebecca used to work for me, and at the same time, so I was the teacher and she was a student, and then all of a sudden the roles reversed. But if you're going to be a good leader, you also have to learn how to be a good follower. Yeah. So I appreciate her. I've seen her grow in so many ways, and probably the way I'm going to say the biggest way she's impacted me today, outside of just being the real person that she is what I'm actually doing right now, and that's my Fundamentals radio program. Because this is something that, first of all, I did not want to do. I've attended several of these functions, and I've seen the women on fire. You all are fantastic. But I'm a realist, and I said, we can't do that because men are not as coachable, not as transparent, willing to get advice, willing to let the walls down. So it's something that I did want to do. I was like, heck, I was a national bestseller author in a woman's book. I was like, well, the natural thing to do is to work with beautiful people like you. But I kept getting pushed, and I said, there's nothing out there for men. And I made a comment even on the radio program. I said, when you have different movements, they create awareness and it stimulates action. The women's movement, it created awareness.
That's a power of a movement.
Wow. But it created awareness and it stimulated action to the point that we almost had a woman president. The civil rights movement, it stimulated action, and we actually had the first African American president. The gay movement, it stimulated awareness and it created action. And then all of a sudden, we had a society that changed to the point that gay marriage was accepted. And I said, you know what? The problem that we have is there's been no men's movement. And I say, and this is not taking away anything from what everybody else has accomplished, but when you have no movement, people get lost. And I think people have just assumed that men were okay and had things going on. But men have we have our own struggles, our own difficulties. We go into our closets, we call man cave, to deal with a lot of pressures of life. Because the reality of it is, right now, I'm not sure a man can even define what is a real man. That's changed so much over the course of years. So this was not something that I wanted to do, but after seeing what you all have done, I launched out into what I consider to be a very difficult task. And I didn't go into it really too optimistic. I'm like, that's not going to work, but I'll do it. And now all of a sudden I've got thousands of people that are listening to the radio program, and some of the questions that have been asked, have literally been tearjerkers, because it's created a form that men, for one, can really feel comfortable in dealing with some men issues and express themselves. And then I've had some great compliments from women who have listened to the show, and they said, you know what, I know you say it's for men, but the points that you're bringing out have impacted my life as a woman as well. And it's helping me in my relationship with my husband, my boyfriend, and even my children. So when I look at it from that perspective, I say, well, I guess the man upstairs, he can see things a lot better than we can. We just have to be willing to do what Rebecca says and say yes and step into it. So I'm able to do this because of this beautiful young lady right here. And that's what I'm
Thank you, Karl. I appreciate it. I want a hug. Thank you. Beautiful.
I'll be next.
Being careful of the stage, you'll notice. I learned. No, thank you, Karl, for beautiful share, and it's just an honor. And I love what you have created. So really, if you get a chance, I would check out his show. It's so powerful. So thank you, Karl, for the work you do.
We're live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, but on Voice America, the Empowerment Channel, and you can always go back and replay them. Right now, there's 13 lessons that are already on there that you can go back and listen to.
And one we did together.
Yes, one we did together. And it's good stuff, don't die before you're dead.
Karl's direct. So it's voiceamerica.com for those of you who are looking for it.
Fundamentals.
And mentals.
M-E-N. So we have Funda Men, and then for all of you beautiful ladies, Funda World.
I love it. So, thank you, Karl. Beautiful. Would you like to go next? Okay. So this next powerful individual, Jan, and Jan Alice Jorgensen. Jan Sarah, I'm sorry, Jan
Alice
Sarah.
is my grandmother's name.
Oh,
beautiful.
So interesting. So Jan Sarah Jorgensen, I want to help claim the name that you're claiming and bringing forward. But I met Jan a year and a half, 2 years ago. Has it been that long? Year and a half. And I saw her holding space for so many women and really helping them step into their voices and connect and carry the energy of an event forward. So I really felt a connection, and I love the work that she's doing. And when we announced that we're stepping into having our own television network called RHGTV Network, we're going to bring positive, transformational television programming to the world. And we're opening up opportunities for leaders that want to step into a channel level, that want to lead and help voices come forward as we make a global difference. Jan felt a resonance and said yes and leaned in. So I'm very excited to have her as part of our television channel, our network, I should say television network, her channel on our network, and all that she's bringing forward, the lives that she's called to touch. And I just encourage you to hold that space with her as she's holding that container to help women soar. So please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Jan Sarah Jorgensen.
First, I want to say, Karl, that I think it's the perfect name for your show, and I bet it's big on F-U-N. Fun. Because you are fun, and what a spokesperson for the new emerging masculine. But today we are here to talk about the voice of the feminine, empowered. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Let this bell be the signal that we have put the world on notice, that we are showing up. Now, Rebecca just said she got me to lean in. No. See this edge right here? I feel like she would have pushed me. But I said yes. And the minute I said yes, what happened? I flew. A videographer showed up within a week to help me at no charge until things got settled. So I too have a very interesting path. Who has had a hard time speaking their voice and their truth throughout their life? I was born into a very poor family, and one day my mother even admitted I was unwanted and unplanned. I was the sixth of 8 children, 4 yakety sisters. I was invisible. And then my dad scared me so much, I zipped my voice with authority. So going through junior high, I realized I had anxiety. By the time I was in graduate school, panic attacks. So I became a nurse. And then I began working, a nurse and singing, and put it together at the bedside working with hospice patients. And I realized if I sang through my heart with an intention, all fear would vanish. And I said, if we can reduce the fear of dying, what is the greater fear humans have? Public speaking. So I have created scientific spiritual methods. I developed a global women's organization called SOAR, where I teach these methods. I lead tours around the world. I'm going to Switzerland in January, and in February, El Salvador, and it's just unfolding. These 2 simple methods of voice release and the being light meditation process give a woman back the reins of her power as she connects with the truth of who she is. We prepare women to be absolutely empowered and in their alignment so they can take their node. This is the earth, and each of you holds a little point of light, and we do it together in sacred circles. So SOAR is about forming circles around the world of empowered women, helping each other through these tools. So then I said, I can't travel everywhere. And Rebecca said, are you ready to be a host of your TV show? And I said, oh my God, I'll be so visible. So the upcoming show is just Jan. And I am so excited, just me, interviewing all the wonderful women that are finding their voices. And the channel is Women Helping Women Soar. So we will be working closely together, and I welcome each of you to come up to Gold Country, be a guest on the show, and if you're ready to step out and have your own television show, I'm there to help you with that. Thank you for your attention and time.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you. Beautiful.
We're doing it.
We are. We are. We like to say changing the world one show at a time as we're bringing that forward. So Sofie, And we met on this project, Come Out of Hiding and Shine. I had the opportunity to meet so many amazing people, including Sofie, that were called to be part of this. And she leaned in and she shared so powerfully. And one of the things I found in this book is every author, they changed my life. As I read their chapters, I got to walk beside them. I was transformed in many, many ways. And Sofie and Ronnie as well are authors in this. And Karl's in our next book. No, this book. Oh, see, they're starting to blend. No, but really, and what was beautiful is even authors that I knew well, I learned new things about them and new depth. And Sofie, it was such a privilege to get to know you in this book and how you shared your heart. So I want to thank you for that, and I would love to give you an opportunity to share. So can you help me warmly welcome the amazing Sofie Pirkle to the stage and the show?
I'm going to sit with you. I want to see you all too. Well, Rebecca, my dear, I am a hard person to sell. I was born and raised in a cult where we did amazing things and were clearing the planet and on purpose and all of these things. And there was a lot of abuse and trauma and unspeakable things that happened as well. Both are true. Most amazing experiences and some of the most devastating. So I have like this bullshit radar, right? Like I'll come into a place and be like, whoo, and there can be amazing things happening and some shadowy stuff, right? We've all experienced that. Our parents love us and, right? So Rebecca, I felt this deep resonance because of Ron, who introduced us through email. This is the first time I've met her today in person. And those of us who've experienced trauma can have amazing manifestation abilities, right? Like we can create what we want to create, like boom. And then we can sidestep it and sabotage it, and then it doesn't really happen, right? We have countless opportunities. And just because we have the opportunities doesn't mean that we're going to feel safe being in them. And that is, I mean, my body tingles when I talk about it because sometimes, you know, those inner critics come up and go, there's nothing for you to share, right? But when I feel into the thousands of people that I've supported, the tens of thousands that ripple out from there, the millions from there. And what Rebecca has done for me is I've been working on my own book for several years. And I haven't gotten to the point of, I have publishers who want to work with, I have all those opportunities. I have no shortage of those. What Rebecca did was she made this very clear, a sacred container, but she gets, can I swear?
Well, wait.
She gets stuff done. She gets it done. It's a clear, sacred container and like, love you. Love you. On my desk. And so now here I am for a ridiculous price. I mean, I was like, I have worked on anthologies with other people, $8,000 or more for what she's provided. And I saw the price and I had a little bullshit radar, oh, sorry, cable. I had a little like, why is it so inexpensive? And really, you are here to serve and support us. And I can now say, I still have some tingles and I still have my own PTSD responses shining, right? But I can truly say I am a best-selling author. I am a co-author in a best-selling book with these amazing people. And that, I have a book in me, but we all have books in us. I actually feel like I don't need to write my book. I will, and I do in some way, but because of you and because of this structure, it's like, whew, like, okay, it's there. And it's amazing. It is amazing what you do. I work with community leaders all over the world. I'm an international trauma and recovery expert and mentor. I get to choose between supporting survivors of human trafficking and teaching governments internationally and working with highly influential celebrities. I don't like to name drop, so I'm not gonna. But you are at the cream of the crop. And I don't say that like I don't BS. So thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for all of us. And with your TV and everything that you're doing, it's amazing what you're doing for people, because us as spiritual teachers, we are here with an amazing message and can support so many, but we don't always have the sacred container with the. I love you and what you're doing, and if there are people, you are the people. We are the ones who are shifting this trauma of history. We all come from trauma, and you have had the courage to really speak your voice and give us an opportunity to truly, truly shine in a safe container, and I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sofie. Thank you. And I wanted to thank you for sharing and coming here and letting me see you in person and meet you and share from your heart and making that available. I really appreciate and honor that. Thank you. And I wanted to let you know, in the back of the room, we have the panelist table. So anything that is touching your heart as they share, that you want to connect with them on a deeper level, you can do that. So please just honor that poll. If you want to lean and you want to have that conversation, they'll be there during the breaks. But you also can find follow-up information. I know you can sign up to learn more about what Karl is doing, Jan, everybody. So I encourage you to do that as you get to know these amazing individuals. Ronnie. Now, Ronnie and I have known each other for a while. And it's been such a privilege in this book to get to know Ronnie on a deeper level. And she is blossoming, she's stepping out, she's being interviewed on all different kinds of formats and really bringing more and more and more to the world. And it's just an honor to watch and see all that she is doing. So can you please warmly welcome our amazing co-author, Ronnie Joy Krasner, to the stage. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Welcome. Thank you.
How do I love Rebecca? Let me count the ways. I've been a life coach since 2003, and it was just a couple of years ago that I created a niche of Ronnie Joy, the midlife dating coach. And it wasn't so long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, that I was part of her speaker talent search that was mentioned earlier today. I was a nervous wreck. I practiced over and over again my 7-minute speech. I was prepared. I looked the part. I was all set to go. But when I got there, I was a wreck. And Rebecca came out of the room where there was a bunch of women waiting to hear me speak, and we had a chat, and she just said just the right words. I calmed down, I gave my speech, I think it was pretty great, and got such wonderful feedback from it, but that's just the type of person Rebecca is. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It wasn't so long ago that Rebecca had a workshop. I've gone to several and have loved them. When Rebecca let the audience know that she was going to be a compiler of this book, Come Out of Hiding and Shine. She had some spots open for co-authors. Now, at the time, there I was at the workshop, it just kind of went over my head. I wasn't interested in doing it. But as the day wore on, the workshop wore on, there was a still, small voice that said, Ronnie, you need to write this chapter. Say what? I mean, you know, I wanted to ignore it, but I couldn't. So I went up to Rebecca and I said, is there still room? And actually, I think I was on a waiting list, but fortunately for me, I was able to write this chapter. Now, mind you, I had no idea what it was going to be about. I just let it bubble up over time. And then I got this download, and it was easy. I just wrote what I heard and felt. But what that's done for me, Rebecca, it's been so life transformational because it's telling my story in a way that I've never shared before. I didn't realize until recently how much of a private person I am. And as much as I'm a life coach and I share my experiences with my clients, I still hold my personal life to a degree very close to my chest, and except for friends and family. So this was a big step for me to come out of hiding and to shine and tell a story about my childhood, something that happened, a dark secret that wasn't even revealed to me until my adult life. There were repressed memories. And so putting the pen to page, it freed me. It freed me. And as you said, Sofie, here was Rebecca. I had never written anything before, anything to be published. Here was Rebecca that was so wonderful because I can get overwhelmed very easily. She just chunked it all down. She had it in writing, what our next steps were. She had weekly phone calls, and if you weren't on the call, you'd hear what was said. She just made it so doable. So if there is anyone in this room that even has an inkling that they might want to write a chapter for her next book, I say go for it, because you're not going to find anybody better than Rebecca to be the compiler of an anthology. And so, something else has happened to me since this chapter. So now that I've found my voice more and more as the years go by, the final edit for my chapter was sometime in June for our chapters. And 5 days later, I received a diagnosis that I had breast cancer. And 2 weeks after that, I had breast cancer surgery. This was June 30th. It wasn't so long ago. And at that point in time, as you can imagine, it was a roller coaster ride. It was making decisions about lots of things. It was fear. It was getting up in the night and turning to my husband and saying, well, what about this and what about that? And thank God he had the container to hold me. He gave me the bandwidth just to be with my fears, with my anxiety, and just to hold me or just to have an answer or not. So that being said, that was a couple months ago. But then something occurred to me. Because I am a midlife dating coach, because I do have wonderful testimonials of all the women and some wonderful men that I have coached. One just called me recently, a woman crying because she found the love of her life. She said, I couldn't have done this without you, and I'm so happy. And I'm so thrilled for her, and that's what brings me joy. What dawned on me, though, is there are women who have had breast cancer diagnoses that are single, that would want to find love in their lives. And as much as it's daunting to get back into the dating world, it's even more daunting with a diagnosis like this. So it's a niche within a niche that I've formed. So if you or anyone that you know could use my services to help someone get back into the dating world after breast cancer, after a serious illness diagnosis, I have a sign-up sheet in the back of the room. Please feel free to share the information. And Rebecca, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for helping me to come out of hiding and to shine in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's take a breath together and just breathe in all that has been shared by these amazing individuals, different parts of their stories that they're sharing and shining more and more. And let's send them positive, supportive energy to keep the journey going as they're saying yes to this sacred work that they're doing. I want to thank you all for leaning in, for saying yes, for being willing to bring your magic, your gifts, and your talents to the world, no matter what. Even when those dips and challenges come, I have seen you lean in. I have seen you hold that ground, stand that ground as an ambassador for what they're called to do. So let's give them a warm round of applause, thanking them one more time. Thank you. I love it. Ta-da! Wonderful. Thank you. Beautiful. Are you a speaker looking to reach more people with your message? You have a global vision that you want to touch the world and make a global difference. If so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. You'll find all the details, but here are the highlights. With one application process, you get clarity on your message. You get to fine-tune how you want to reach the world. Then you'll have everything ready in one place for the opportunities when they come. Second, we select you as a finalist. You get to come in and audition with a 7-minute audition, open up the door to hundreds of speaking opportunities. I hope you lean in. I hope you say yes. We would love to hear your message. Help you touch the world powerfully. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your powerful message.
I wanted to have this time to share with you why Rebecca Hall Gruyter has been such an empowering force in my life. There is a way that Rebecca has embodied stepping fully into your power. She even suggested that I really own being called Empress Iris. And there is a way that Rebecca really walks in a way that she is power from the heart. And what I mean by that is that she is able to share fully with heartfelt empowerment. And to me, that is the ultimate power from the heart. Thank you, Rebecca.
Samaya, would you come on up? You got that? Do you mind sharing who you are and reading your question? Because again, this is visibility while we share and shine. Oh, and a microphone. Thank you.
I do feel a little like a deer in the headlights.
We want you to be seen.
I'm Sumaya O'Grady, and I'm a soul alchemist. And I teach people to experience real-life mastery so that they can manifest successfully in a way that accelerates their spiritual growth. So, Rebecca, I know that you are involved in a lot of projects, because I know this because we tried to set a date for something and it went out months and months and months. So, how do you decide what to say yes to?
I love this. So, if I can, I'll take that back from you. I don't want to lose it. I love this because I learned something about what to say yes or no to that changed my life. So I want to share that with you. And please understand the context of this. I am a planner to the core. I love to plan. I like to have A, B, C, D, all the way through Z plans. So when someone presents an opportunity, my mind goes straight to building the plans, whether I should be doing it or not. And then pretty soon I can get confused because I can argue it both ways and it makes sense both ways, and then I've already got the house built, and how do I find my way in all of that? And so what I learned is to actually tap in to all of me and to pause and listen, not just step into action and building. And so one of the things I learned to do, and actually we can do it together if I have you stand. You can do it with me on stage. I love it. And I just want you guys to be able to see. What I do is I pause, breathe in deeply, kind of all the way down to my heels, and I put the weight equal where it's equal on the front of my feet and the back of my feet. And I really feel into almost a quietness I'll create around me so that I'm not getting distracted by things, and I feel in. And I simply ask myself, yes or no. Is this something that I should be moving forward into? And if it's a yes, the body will actually shift forward to the balls of your feet. You'll feel an upward lifting energy. And if it's a no, you're going to feel it backwards, almost to the heel, like a crushing kind of energy. And I have found it has always been the right decision when I've honored that. And it cleared up all that noise, all that mess, so I'm not getting caught up in saying yes to too many things, because that's my natural inclination. Yes, 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 I can see it all, let's build it all. And then wait, there's only 24 hours. How did that happen? Trying to feel into it. So that's what I do. And I'll do this in the grocery store. Is this something I should have or not? Supplement. I sometimes still say yes to the chocolate when it's a no. I mean, you have choice. I do. So
that's a typical question.
Yeah, but I always make sure it's dark chocolate. But anyway, feeling into that will free you from all of this, because then you're listening to all of you, and then you can bring in the mind to build where you want to go. So that's how I decide my projects. Okay, so great. And I'm going to keep you standing so we're ready for the fairy dust. So would you describe your fairy dust to us? We are ready to deliver.
Yes. I would like amethyst crystal, and very, very sparkly, with a lot of real silver and real gold. Sparkles mixed in with the amethyst. And I would like the scent of violets.
Oh, nice.
And some lavender thrown in.
For good measure.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Anything else?
No, I think that covers it. I've been dreaming about this downfall of amethyst.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready for downfall of lavender, gentle, not lavender, I'm sorry, of amethyst, gentle.
Amethyst, yes.
Yeah, gentle
Amethyst,
and supporting,
yeah.
Not the heavy boonk kind
Right,
of.
right.
Okay.
Just very light, loving touches of amethyst crystal and silver and gold. Okay.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this so you can fully receive. So let's get our fairy dust ready. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Beautiful. Absolutely. Thank you.